So the big question with this is, with Guardian 1, instead of being 17% before, now being 140 fixed crystals, is siege farming dead? Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about siege farming. We're going to be talking about whether siege farming is dead with the version 4.2.3 update notice. A lot of people have been asking me, is siege farming going to die? Is siege going to be better for G3, G2, G1 players, Conk3, etc.? So, I've been answering these questions for a couple days, so I thought I'd just put together this video and talk about it overall, especially now that we have some preliminary data from the Asia server. So to go over it right off the bat, Siege Battle, the victory points will be reset and applied to the new season. So the season reset comes in, and there is a change to the crystal rewards. So it says a crystal reward improvement. Before, when the Siege Battle ends, guild members get rewards based on guild's grade, rank, and the amount of siege points acquired. So that basically means there was a percentage of your contribution was multiplied to the total contribution of the guild. So before, if you were in Guardian 3 and you won, they would take 20,000, which is your total guild points, multiply it by the 22% to give the total amount of crystals for the guild, and then multiply it by your personal contribution percentage and give you that many crystals. So now they've changed it to a method where everyone in the guild gets a fixed amount of crystals based on your rank and the position that you finish in the siege. And then there's a bonus amount of crystals that are being given. So the big question with this is, with Guardian 1, instead of being 17% before, now being 140 fixed crystals, is siege farming dead? I at first thought siege farming was dead, 100%, if you were siege farming for crystals. Because there were two theories I had for what the bonus crystal amount would be. The first theory is that there would be, as it says here, 30%. Bonus crystals can be earned up to 30% of a guild member's max contribution. So what I thought that meant was, in method 1, it's 30% of your flat contribution is added as your bonus. So flat contribution would be your plus 15 guild points or contribution points when you get an offense win, and plus 5 when you get a defense win. However, that would mean that let's say you arbitrarily get 300 flat contribution, right? So 30% of that ends up being 90. So you get 90 crystals as your bonus, right? So G1, you'd get 90 crystals as your bonus. But that didn't quite make sense to me, mainly because it wouldn't really scale with each rank. It would just be based on your flat contribution in anything. So it would actually make more sense to be in like a Conk 3 or lower range and just go for like 30 wins, right? And that really wouldn't tackle the issue of siege farming. So the other method I thought was that it would be 30% of the basic crystals. So it says bonus crystals are given in proportion to a guild member's contribution and the amount of basic crystals. So what I thought that meant is that instead of the flat contribution, you take the percentage of contribution of your person, and you'll gain crystals based on that. So let's say you got 15% of your guild, right? You did 15% of your guild's contribution in G3 and you won, right? So it would take 15% times the 250, and that would be your bonus crystal amount. Now, I wasn't sure if that would be very fair because it's a really, really low amount when you look at it. That would be like 40 crystals. But it seemed more likely because it would balance according to the rank that you were in. So from that, what we've seen actually is there is a formula that someone came up with on Reddit, basically. And they said that this is their hypothesis here. So the hypothesis is that the bonus crystal factor is 6.75 crystals multiplied by your contribution, multiplied by the base crystals you get, which would be these basic crystals, and then multiplied by your team score divided by 20,000. So long story short, I'm not going to do all the math out for you, but this would end up having the amount of crystals you get if you're a siege farmer. So if you're siege farming G1 and you're doing it with 3 people total, so you get 1,000 crystals per siege, now you would be getting around 500 to 520. This kind of brings me around to say it. Is siege farming dead? No, I don't think siege farming will be dead. Even before this, people would still siege farm for GP because the GP wasn't changed. Guild points will be given as the same. GP isn't changed, so there will be still people that siege farm. However, now that we've seen these crystals, this hypothesis and the preliminary data we've gained from the Asia server on Reddit, it looks like siege farming actually will still exist, which even as a siege farmer, I'm kind of disappointed in that. I kind of want to go back to a real guild, and I would like this issue to be mitigated. But at the same time, I'm not upset at Com2us because they are taking steps. You know, it just takes them a long time, right? Siege was released November 17th of 27 or 11th of 2017. So it's been out for a year and 3 or 4 months. We look at that. The 30% contribution limit was July, I think, July or August. So it's about every 6 months they've seemed to make a change to it to try to mitigate this farming idea and also buff the top end rewards. Hopefully it'll be sooner, maybe a month or two, until they can add something that, you know, removes this whole seed farming idea and also makes it worthwhile to be in a guild. Overall, it is a buff to Guardian 3 and Guardian 2, and Guardian 1 and Conqueror only if you have a high amount of members. Like if you have 20 members, it helps out the people who don't contribute as much. But the thing that it deters is the people who do really well. So like, let's say you're, you know, a Guardian 1 guild with a group of friends. Suddenly, if you're someone who is regularly getting like 30% contribution, you know, it's not as impactful as it was before. I don't think it's too much of a change. Let me know what you guys think about siege farming and what you guys think about the change to crystals. If you have any suggestions, I'd love to be able to pass them on. Yeah, let me know what you guys think.